Hey friends, Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Jobu, and as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Jobu Sports Report. Because without you guys, I would be sitting down here talking to myself, and that's just plain crazy. Again, I want to thank all you guys joining in last night on the live chats. For those of you guys who don't know, we live chat on Monday and Friday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern. We take your questions and comments and so on, and we talk about what else? The Dallas Cowboys and the things that are happening in the NFL. And I got to tell you, I cannot wait till the season starts so that way when we live chat that it'll be about the Dallas Cowboys games and the season and so on. So, what I try and do here on the Jobu Sports Report is I try and give you something different. Because right now, of course, everybody's talking about Tony Romo trying out for the U.S. Open and not making it, or Tony Romo, says that he's going to stink as a broadcaster and things like that, and the speculation of whether he'll come back and yada, yada, yada. You can get draft breakdowns from every site in the world. So after a while, it all just becomes womp, 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 womp. Like Charlie Brown's teacher. So I try and give you something else to think about, something else to talk about that, while everybody else is talking about that, you say, hey, yeah, you know what? I got something different for you. So what I want to talk about is our defense. And I have a lot of hope for our defense this year because there's a thing that I'll call the Rod Marinelli effect. Because a lot of people are talking about, oh my God, the Dallas Cowboys defense, they lost all these players. They're going to be terrible. But it's funny because it's not the first time that the Dallas Cowboys defense has lost a lot of players. In fact, you can go back through and see we've had bigger name players that have gone, that have had better seasons than the guys like Terrell McCain and Jack Crawford. I remember back in 2013 when we had a historically bad defense and we lost to Marcus Ware, as well as Jason Hatcher. But yet that team, which also lost Sean Lee, defense went from 32nd to 19th. Now, how could that be that you lost your three best players, yet you got better? So I always like to do research and look at the numbers and come up with a different conclusion than what the talking heads will give you. And here's what I found out. It's really interesting because when I say it's the Rod Marinelli effect, truly he is a difference maker when it comes to players. Because, see, sometimes you get free agents that you have to wonder, is it that free agent is really that good of a player? Or is it the system and the coaching that he's playing in? And see, I believe that a lot of the players that we've had here in Dallas have had great seasons because of Rod Marinelli and the system. And I will give you a couple examples to prove my point. Because let's take Jason Hatcher, who before the 2010 season never had more than 2 sacks. Now, 2010, he had 4.5 sacks. 2011, he had 4 sacks. 2013, all of a sudden, he had 11. Boom. Huge jump up from a guy that was averaging about 3.5 sacks a game to go from 3.5 to 11. That was a year that Rod Marinelli came to Dallas. Now, after he got the fat contract with the Redskins, the next year he only had 5.5 sacks. The year after that, only 2. So he was literally back at his averages before Rod Marinelli. So he averaged 3 sacks before Rod Marinelli, all of a sudden jumps up to 11, leaves, and then goes back to 3. Okay, still not convinced? Let me give you another one. George Selby, guy I really liked, played on 4 teams before coming to the Cowboys. 2010, he had 1.5 sacks. 2011, he had a half sack. 2012, he had a half sack. But 2013, when he came to the Dallas Cowboys and Rod Marinelli, bam, 7 sacks. For a journeyman who never had more than 1.5 sacks to jump up in 2013 to 7 the same year that Rod Marinelli came there. He got a nice payday, and he went on to the Giants to have, wait for it, 3 sacks, got cut, played with the Rams, and got 1 sack. So, when you look at that, if the guys weren't doing anything before Rod Marinelli, and then work with him and jump up, and then leave and go back down, did they forget how to play football? Or was it the system that they were in? I believe it's the system that they're in. Because Stephen Paea played pretty good when he was with Rod Marinelli with the Bears. He goes to the Redskins and then to Cleveland, and he literally disappears off the face of this earth. So to me, Stephen Paea coming to the Dallas Cowboys and working with Rod Marinelli is all of a sudden going to have that effect where it bumps up his numbers. So you're still not convinced. Well, take a look at some of the guys that left that basically weren't full-time starters. They were basically more part-time starters. Terrell McCain, 2011, 1 sack. 2012, 0 sacks. 2013, 0 sacks. 2016, he gets 2.5. Jack Crawford, same kind of a deal. 0 sacks, 2010. 0 sacks, 2011. 2 sacks, 2013, when Rod Marinelli comes down. 4 sacks, 14, and then 3.5 sacks. So you look at how he affects guys. The thing that you have to wonder, because most of the guys that Rod Marinelli has been coaching on the defense, because the offense gets all the money and the superstars, and the defense gets the scraps in Dallas, is what if he has premier talent to work with? What if instead of having your George Selvies or your Terrell McCains or your Jack Crawfords, he gets somebody who has a lot of talent, that has a lot of natural gifts, that just needs that coaching to get him over the next level. I don't know, somebody like maybe Taco Charlton. It's going to be interesting to see what he's able to do with a guy who has all of the tools, has the build, has the ability, but needs the coaching. I say, NFL, watch out. If he can take a practice squad guy like David Irving and start turning him into a beast, what is he going to do with the top draft pick? I can't wait to see. So, friends, it's been a long day. It's been a long 2 days. I'm going to finish this video up, and I'm going to hit the bed, and I will see you guys in the morning. That is, unless there's some breaking news on the Dallas Cowboys. I'm Mark Holmes. This is Cowboy Joe Boo. And if you're still watching this video, be sure to click subscribe because you are a true fan of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Have a great night, and I'll see you tomorrow.